Welcome back, guys. We're here on the SSL Challenge broadcast. We just got done with our first series. It was a 2-0 by Classic over Bunny. It was really quick, a couple seconds, and then here we are going into set number 2. It's going to be JJAKJI versus GuMiho.
Yeah, I got up to use the bathroom and decided against it. By the time I looked at the counter, we were already down to like a minute until our next games. I was like,
yeah, and the bathroom's all the way over there.
Our bathroom, the worst part about this is that I can actually look like all the way down the Nexon Arena and see the bathroom.
Yeah, so it's tantalizing, right?
Yeah, this
like,
is like
I wish I could just go.
This is like In Control's analogy from DreamHack Austin about Protoss macroing against Zerg players. It's like I can look outside from the frosted window and see all the delicious food on the table, but good luck getting inside. I cannot have that until our much longer break, which will be coming up after these games. And so while I am excited to cast this next series, Brendan, I'm also excited for the break, the aftermath. Yes, that will truly be a victory on my own part. But we do have another series coming up here. It's going to be a guy that we haven't actually seen already today, GuMiho, who 4-0'd his GSL group against great players like Alive. And if you can beat one of the mostest scariest Terrans in the world right now, Alive's been on fire. GuMiho, I believe the vernacular is "ain't no thing" to him. He just like bopped his way straight on through to the round of 16 in GSL, and now he's coming back here tonight to play JJAKJI, who, while a great player in his own right and a GSL champion nonetheless, that was then and this is now.
I think he's won one game against Deer, and I think that was it. I'm not 100% sure, but just off the top of my head, I think that's what's happened so far. Also, another funny fact, you were talking about Alive, how he did take the 2-0, and GuMiho, he is in Challenge, whereas Alive is in Premier. So, funny the way that works, just another highlight of how that is. And also Zest is in Premier. He got last place in his group.
Yeah, also, so Zest, SOS, both out of GSL right now.
Yeah.
Alive really struggled against GuMiho today. And coming into this game tonight, just another... the reason we play these games is because, anything can happen. So for JJAKJI, this would be a little bit of an upset, at least when I was looking at fan predictions. Everybody had GuMiho on top when I was making my liquid bets. Definitely voted for GuMiho, so we'll see which side he does come out on. And while, yes, I am still an unbiased caster, Brendan.
Sure.
The stats, as they say,
your
don't
liquid
lie.
bets are revealed already, Rapid. You're too late.
Much like my Reddit upvote history, those things are super private. Can you imagine if those were public? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would probably not be good.
Yikes. Yeah.
I'm just like a full-time lurker on Reddit.
Oh, yeah, man.
I think I have an account. I don't remember the last time I used it.
I think I have an account, too. Maybe. I don't know.
I think you do.
I got like 2,000 upvotes for posting that picture of Artosis' kids, which, by the way, you should all go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can, and say congratulations to Artosis, who has 2 more kids.
Yeah, 3 kids. It's a lot.
Yeah, 3 total kids. And he was casting GSL today after, being involved in the birth of his 2 children the very next day, fully recovered and back to casting. Of course,
that must be a very interesting kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's like, oh, by the way, I have 2 new additions to my family and GSL. So that's the real hashtag passion right there.
Well, GSL family is his real family. Let's be real.
That's very true. So, let's get back to the SSL
Tasteless is
family.
actually his wife.
I mean,
not his real wife.
Had a lot of hair. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, let's go ahead and get into our players here. This is JJAKJI.
He actually has won 2 games.
Yeah, affectionately known as the punching bag of SSL. Still yet to win one of his games after qualifying for the SSL Classic, or SSL Challenge, yeah. I keep confusing them, but yeah. SSL Challenge. There he is. There's Probius. I stole him, but they stole him back, Brendan.
Where did they put him?
He's upstairs.
Oh.
Well, here's GuMiho. This is a guy that, while he has struggled in SSL Challenge, he has really excelled in GSL and in online cups too. Winner of the Team Open Finals a few weeks ago. Went all the way over to the United States, came all the way back, and now he's back to crushing things in GSL. And a favorite for sure in this upcoming match.
Yeah, liking his chances. I think it'll be a 2-0. It might not be a quick one because TVT sometimes gets into weird, wonky stages.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one Doom Drop that runs into turrets or doesn't run into anything and kills everything, so... Ugh.
Yeah. TY just walked by. Sorry, I was a little starstruck there.
TY is not wearing the same shoes that I am. I was looking for any commonality between myself and, one of the 4 horsemen of Terran right now, and I really couldn't find anything.
He's got that Korean style with, like, the collared shirt and the sweater. Very common.
I can't pull that off, man. Although I will say I'm very thankful for cold weather because it means I don't have to iron any of my clothes. I just put the sweaters on. Although now I just have those super dank hoodies that I just wear everywhere.
Oh, yeah. The space hoodies.
Good stuff. Never again will an
Rapid
iron
is
have
the
to
real
touch.
star boy.
Well, we're actually coming into summer, so that cheat code won't work for very much longer. Unless I just want to, like, sweat everywhere I go.
Are you a shorts guy? Do you do shorts?
No.
Okay.
I got these gangly nerd legs, man.
I know there are some guys that are just like, no shorts ever. And Monte Cristo is actually one of those people. He's like, no, only boys wear shorts, men wear jeans or slacks. And I'm like, I don't know. I have like 3 pairs of shorts. It's enough.
There's, I forget which one of the great philosophers of our time, I think it was like Jung, said that like our personalities are like onions, so the boy is still there inside, you're just building on him. That guy would still wear shorts, but unfortunately, he is not me. There we go. All right, so here we go. Our second best of 3 series of the night, JJAKJI versus GuMiho. It's coming up. GuMiho struggling in SSL Challenge, but definitely bopping them in GSL. JJAKJI winless has yet to take his first victory here. So we'll see if he can do it as we spawn our second series by Better Fly.
Yeah, down here in the bottom right, it is JJAKJI, the red Terran, wearing a pretty cool shirt.
I thought that said Merci for the longest time. Merci. But here's our blue Terran player in his home color advantage, playing for Storm Gaming. It is GuMiho, the newest inductee into the GSL round of 16. We'll see if he can make it to the second stage of the SSL Challenge in a TVT on Whirlwind in close positions.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice game here. Excited to see what JJAKJI has planned. When you haven't won a single set, you have to come in with some kind of plan and perhaps do something differently. Or maybe he just practiced a lot, his same style. Maybe you just want to go with what you're comfortable with, but iron it out a little bit.
What is your thought on that, Brendan? Because I know there's like 2 schools of thought. One is where you just focus on yourself and execute your play style and force the other guy to walk the beat of your build order. And then the other one is being a very reactive player and being able to adapt on the fly. What do you do?
I like the idea that you stick with your style and you just practice it, because if you're a pro gamer, you've played it enough to know, you play the game enough to kind of know what player you are, and perhaps you just try to get good, as they say.
Something that I was never able to do with actual games, so every broadcast I try to do that here, no matter what it is. Here we go. Scouting SCVs will do their little handshakes. I forget if close spawns on Whirlwind is a handshake map. I want to say it is, but instead of handshaking, this Marine stops. Maybe he'll run into them. This is the true meta. Will they actually handshake here? Nope. Instead, it's a gun shake. Those usually do a little...
shaking his gun at that SCV.
Yeah, those usually go a little bit less well. SCV gonna run right through the mineral line. Oh. Pop out on the Reaper will take him out. 604 APM there for JJAKJI for a second.
That's when the old man actually shoots the young kid on his lawn. He's like, get off my lawn. He's shaking his gun at him. He's like, I've got a gun. And he actually shoots him. Is that the kind of thing that happens in Texas Rapid?
Much more possibly than other places. I feel like if you were on the lawn out here in South Korea, where lawns basically don't exist, but if they did, and you were theoretically on there, you wouldn't have to worry about that. So
I have like a porch. It's made of concrete.
This is how you know Brandon's living the high life, man.
No. It's like a small room. I live in the basement. Like, don't get any wrong ideas. But,
all right. Well, anyway, here we go. We got tech kind of revealed here. Starport almost done for JJAKJI. GuMiho already has his up and running because he's researching Cloak for Banshees coming out. On the other side, Viking for JJAKJI might be able to push that back.
Yeah, just setting up a nice wall of Marines, too. And their buddies, Mr. Hellion and Mr. Reaper, just trying to defend.
What if it's Mrs. Hellion?
I mean, you can see the guy in the Hellion is actually a male.
It's
weird that the same guy is in every Hellion, don't you think?
Maybe it's like the Clone Wars in Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't actually know the lore behind it. Perhaps that is the
Maybe they
case.
just cloned a bunch of Hellion drivers. Whoa!
Yeah. That's a nice scout.
That's Mr. Banshee right there.
No, Mrs. Banshee.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Or it could be Miss Banshee. Because, I mean, let's be real. If you're flying a Banshee, probably... You know, you're in a very high danger kind of situation. I don't know if it's good to be married, but he actually takes out that Banshee with 2 seconds left on the cloak.
Yeah, I think that cloak was it canceled or did it actually complete?
I think he completed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's starting another. Okay, well he was starting another Banshee there for a second.
I think he completed it.
I think he canceled it and the second, no, it was the completion of the Banshee. Okay, all right. So second Banshee on the way, cloak is done. Cool. Glad we got that out of the way.
But
Mrs. Banshee out there.
JJAKJI has a Raven now, and taking out that first Banshee was really, really nice. JJAKJI in a very big lead in terms of workers. He got that earlier Nexus with Command Center with the build that he did do. And now this Banshee has to do a nice bit of damage. Just 1 SCV so far.
Again, about to come down, has to run away from these Marines. And Banshee number 2 is out of there. Wow. Yeah, so JJAKJI's actually looking really great. He defends perfectly, lost a total of 3 SCVs, killed off 2 Banshees, and the entire tech path, for the most part, for GuMiho has been pretty much nullified. Now we're going to see most likely reactored Vikings coming out here for JJAKJI. See if he decides to go for that or pump out a bunch of dropships for this bio transition.
Looking forward, that Hellion is unfortunately going to miss this army, but he's got stuff back at home set up. Has this 1 tank, but unfortunately it might be shelled here.
Yeah, it's about to just get taken out now. No upgrade disadvantage there, but he can't even unsiege it in time. A little bit sloppy there for JJAKJI, and notice the landed Vikings here. Those are going to be really, really cool to function as, not siege tanks, but tanks up in the front to allow those stim Marines to really put out a lot of DPS.
This is really funny. Coming in from behind now, though, is 2 auto turrets focusing down that tank. Really nice concave here for JJAKJI, and he will easily hold this off.
Beautiful defense there by JJAKJI, just impeccably breaking that siege position. I was talking about it in TVP and how Protoss have to use things like shades and blinks to get in on top of that and stop it. But this time around, just really, really well done. And Marines back at home in order to stop GuMiho's Liberator from really doing anything too. So, man, JJAKJI, really good play.
Yeah, he's looking good so far in this game. If anyone didn't know the 2 players and what state they're in, they would think we're fools for predicting GuMiho to take this one, because so far JJAKJI is in total control of this game.
Yeah, if you just took off player names, I honestly would think that maybe they were reversed here.
Yeah.
Now, this is a style that I should mention. GuMiho earlier on today was a little bit far behind in the first of his games that he played against Alive, and then he had a big barracks explosion, busted out 1,000,000 Marines, and stemmed his way to victory in really cool fashion. So that's kind of what he's doing right now, but with this push coming out across the map for JJAKJI, this big macro machine might not kick in time for GuMiho.
Yeah, he's trying to. I like the bit of Liberator harass that he's doing. It hasn't been too effective, but it's keeping JJAKJI's mind back at home just a little bit. Some of his units. You can see the unit tab up on the top that GuMiho continuously makes those Liberators and is going for more economic damage. JJAKJI's sitting right on the front doorstep, but hasn't been able to go up that ramp, is really hesitating there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, GuMiho does have more tanks that'll make his defense pretty good. In the meantime, I actually really like the sensor tower coming down from JJAKJI. A lot of times you don't see for Terran players going for that until a little bit later on in the game. We're only at the 8-minute mark right now, but this is really going to say, hey, if you keep burying those Liberators into my base, you're not going to have a good time. But now stimming forward, Raven taking up a little bit of those shots, stimming the Marines right on top of GuMiho's tanks, taking them out.
Not sure about that auto turret on top of his own tank there. But outside of that, I do like the way he did engage. He stims up the hill, gets 2 tanks, and then backs off. But he did unfortunately allow the combat shield upgrade to finish for GuMiho, so that's definitely going to help out for the defense here.
I think there was a Sixpence None the Richer song called Running Up That Hill. That's about what JJAKJI is about to do, or at least he's thinking about doing it. Besides the discretion, Brendan, as they say, is the better part of valor. I thought it was Quinn, but either way, we're about to find out whether or not he wants to just soak things up.
Oh, what?
He's just, all right, Marine, you know what your job is? you stick the needle in your arm, and
you run up the hill.
You charge up the hill.
He's just had enough, man.
Into 100% certain doom. Here come a bunch more Marine buddies as they do try to get way deep in there onto these tanks. And indeed, they will. Plenty left over and not enough on top to defend.
GuMiho going for the big counter drop here into the main. There are a bunch of units back at home, though, for JJAKJI. He's going to pull his own SCVs and try to defend this. He's got a tank on the ramp, but I think he needs to get that a little bit closer.
Yeah, this is actually just going so well for JJAKJI. GuMiho trying to do anything that he can, but I think deciding to pull his troops all the way across the map in those drops might have just lost him the game. He can't mine from his natural. Well, JJAKJI's getting a 3rd.
Yeah, GuMiho is in dire straits right now. He's sitting in his base, trying to defend. He wanted to go for the counter attack, but JJAKJI correctly attacked at the right time. And this is going to be the desperation attempt here from GuMiho. He hasn't killed a single tank. There he goes. Finally takes out a couple of them.
Yeah, but there's just too much here on the ground for JJAKJI. GG! GuMiho.
JJAKJI.
Yeah, it was a JJAKJI. As if you could put more J sounds in that name. He's already got, I think, what, 3 J's already? Now he's got a couple more G's to add to it. And wow, just... I don't really know what to say. I think the real sort of nail in the coffin there for GuMiho was sending 4 dropships across the map and then didn't have enough to deal damage in the main and didn't have enough to defend his naturals. So it's
yeah, well, I feel like there were a bunch of nails in the coffin, as if you will. The first one was him losing the Banshee with 2 seconds left on Cloak. The second one was him running up the ramp in a fight that he could not possibly win with landed Vikings. And then the third one was when he was stuck in his base, tried to go for a counter drop, it didn't work. And he
many
lost the
nails
game.
in GuMiho's coffin. And so, maybe the storyline, the narrative as it is wont to be is that, GuMiho has had a very long day. He did very well this morning, but it's not just about whether you win one set of games. You have to have the stamina in order to keep up and make it all the way through your games here tonight in SSL. It's actually really interesting because they're very different kinds of players. For some players, I think we talked about this last week with Deer, where you do very well, but you have like a very narrow apex of your play, and then once you crest that pinnacle of your goodness, it's all downhill from there. And it wasn't true last week, but tonight it actually might be hitting GuMiho a little bit.
Yeah, as you said, it was a long day. He's been out and about, winning a lot earlier on, but
just casually knocking Zest out of GSL,
Yeah,
that thing.
Just doing GuMiho things, winning tournaments, knocking out fantastic players. Although, there's a lot to be said about Zest's current condition. But he's going to have to win 2 games in a row now against JJAKJI to have any chance of making it into the second round.
Will he be JJAKJI's first casualty of the SSL Challenge? We'll find out as we get into game number 2.
There we go.
And away we go. Fly better flying on our Jin airplane here. The Red Terran player in the bottom right-hand corner. This is JJAKJI. Playing for Team Revolution.
And down here in the bottom left, the Blue Terran. It's GuMiho.
Playing for Psystorm Gaming. Big fan of those guys. Of course, I think they're probably a big fan of GuMiho after qualifying the round of 16 GSL. JJAKJI, he's done his good stuff in GSL, but it's all about the SSL Challenge. And currently, JJAKJI in last place I don't think it's necessarily possible for him to get to the next round.
No, I don't believe so. This is the last day of games.
Yeah, so
in order to decide our second round.
Yeah, all he can do is stop GuMiho from any possibility of making it onto the next round, although he is, I think, 1-2 in the SSL right now. So, struggle town for both of these Terran players. And these are still two very, very good Terran players, especially GuMiho really sort of fighting with Alive to make it up there to the, to, I guess, touch the 4 horsemen of the Terran apocalypse. Showing a lot of skill today. We'll see if he can keep it up. All right, well, here comes out the first GuMiho SCV as it extends its reach across the map. Did you know, Brendan? I actually didn't know. You know what SCV stands for?
Oh, I used to know.
Yeah, I actually never
I don't
knew.
remember.
I've actually just been saying SCV this entire time without knowing. But
Isn't it something controlled vehicle?
It's Space Construction Vehicle.
Ah, okay.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Unless they changed it between Brood War and StarCraft 2, I believe that is in fact what it stands for. And if I'm incorrect, somebody can tweet it at me or Brendan, and we will we'll check that out. But either way, yeah, there's your cool tidbit of information. You want another cool tidbit of information?
Sure, give it to me.
Brendan, what a cassowary is?
No, no idea.
It's a big, funny-looking bird. Their eyelids blink upwards, not downwards. Like
it's kind of scary, actually. I don't.
It is. It's super scary. it's like Jabba the Hutt kind of eyelids. Either way, coming up the ramp, it's gonna be most of that damage on the Reaper, and he's gonna just lose the Reaper JJAKJI. All right. Wow.
Well, he had a really good game in game 1 when he kind of just sat back and let things let GuMiho run right into him. But when he tries to go up the ramp there, it's not gonna work.
I think the Beatles wrote a song about that called "Let It Be." Kind of the good strat there for JJAKJI. Goes for it, tries to make it happen, doesn't work. So either way, I think he's just gonna do this whole soft contain thing where you keep your units outside your opponent's base, and even though you might not be able to win a fight, no, he's gonna go for it again. Okay, does get the KD8 charge out there, but instead it's going to continue to hemorrhage units.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting what he's doing here.
Okay, that was a little bit interesting. He also was researching medevac cloak, or not medevac cloak, Banshee cloak.
That would be sick.
Imagine
cloaked drops.
Oh my god. Am I the smartest person, Brendan? Did I just think of a genius idea? Unfortunately, David Kim is no longer on the StarCraft balance team. Otherwise, I'd be hitting him up right now and be like, yo, DK.
Yo, what's up?
I got a sick new idea.
I got a lit idea for you, man.
That idea most definitely not lit, but either way, it's been a bad day for JJAKJI's Reapers. We'll see if GuMiho's Reaper is a little bit luckier. Oh my goodness! Wow, sick.
As you say it.
Oh my god, that was actually so sick. Either way, nice lock on there. Or, okay, I guess it wasn't a lock on, but GuMiho losing his Reaper in the base thanks to a nice citizen's arrest there from JJAKJI. Is going to go for a big drop here, and this is what we saw GuMiho do in Game 2 of his GSL series versus Alive. So maybe he likes to play a little bit more aggressively in the first game and then come out second game with this dropship almost in JJAKJI's base. There's not a lot in JJAKJI's base. He's got everything in his natural.
Yeah, all these units here looking to defend. He's just trying to bait those units away.
What?
Oh, okay. A little bit late on that drop, and so he won't get as much damage done. Still, we'll get a bit. 3 SCVs is not bad.
Yeah, and then just going to be able to boost his way all the way out of JJAKJI's base. Yeah, so like you said, a little bit less than what we necessarily expected, but still, damage done is damage done. And on the backside of that, GuMiho, a ton going on. Tanks being produced, and +1 starting up.
Coming on in, GuMiho very far ahead at this point. His economy is booming, 41 to 28 SCVs. Has the earlier upgrades in terms of the attack upgrades.
the old day double cyclone drop. Coming back in, switching it up a little bit. I like that. Dropping off the Marines, picking up the Cyclones, forcing out a little bit of that Raven energy at the same time. But yeah, like you said, a 15 SCV advantage here for GuMiho. Wouldn't even be surprised if he tried to go for this third base coming up, but it looks like he is powering up his army. Does have double reactored barracks on the way, as well as +1 about halfway done. Returning back home to repair everything up.
He's going to drop himself.
He's coming in.
Yeah.
Dropping off in the mineral line. Oh, instead of dealing damage, he's healing the units. It's like an inverse drop.
Yeah.
Actually, inverse.
Well, they're still dropping, so.
Yeah, inverse would be if they rose. Although I guess that's like three-dimensional in inverse. I don't know.
Interesting question.
It's 1-to-1, guys. It's not onto. Either way, JJAKJI in a little bit of a rougher spot here, and I think this is where we see the true pedigree of JJAKJI. It's not good enough to just win one game. When you're ahead, you have to be able to come back from behind. The hallmark of all truly great players.
Yeah, we'll see what he can get done. Holding off this drop is going to be the first challenge, and he does have this Hellion in position killing the Marine, but I'm not sure if he's even going to spot that, especially because GuMiho saw the Hellion. But look at all these units in the main that he's got just waiting there. 2 Ravens with tons of energy to drop down and help out those other units for the defense in his main.
And here we go, triple drop, but lots of units there to deal with it, and wisely, GuMiho turns back around. I love those 2 pacifist Marines up there at the third base for JJAKJI, chilling out. Neither one of them really willing to pick a fight up there. Still not exactly sure what the game plan is for GuMiho, or for JJAKJI, but GuMiho with a third base on the way.
Yeah, he's just trying to drop a little bit. He's actually adding a couple of medevacs to this drop ship
well,
crew.
If my first drop doesn't work, what if I just added 2 more drop ships? Now a 5 drop ship force.
And on a map like Newkirk Precinct, this is definitely, usually, a weak place to go. But if he flies straight into those Marines, he could easily lose his lead here.
Yeah,
we'll see what kind of angle.
JJAKJI's not even going for a second base. He is up the macro back at home. He has more than enough to deal with this. I mean, this is like, you know, I don't know, bringing the molehill to the mole. What is that? You bringing the something to the something? I don't know. Maybe it's like the horse to water, but this is like water that kills you. I don't know. My analogies are tonight's not my.
A little bit off tonight. A little bit off.
Well,
it's all good.
Depends on who you ask. I could be a little bit off every. All right, now it's JJAKJI's turn. He is going to be flying his dropships up over the upper part of Newkirk Precinct, and I definitely like that attack path a little bit better. If he wants to make sure that a third base is, or fourth base rather, is not coming up for GuMiho, you could definitely do that. Check it out. Third base is up, and that will be a big economic advantage for GuMiho the longer this game goes on.
Wow, 1 auto turret.
For 1 Marine. That's a hashtag value, Brendan.
Well, he can regen that energy eventually, I guess it is.
The final nail in the coffin. I don't understand how that works, Brendan. Riddle me that. How does one cyclone running away from another cyclone get hit and die from that cyclone? I guess it's not quite the straight path, so the pursuit curve works.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, sickest PDD there.
Oh, is he going to go for the drop? He's doing it, boosting in.
Only 1 siege take. No, he's actually going to go down to the natural.
Okay, he's getting a very interesting angle. He's going really far in, and look at this. JJAKJI out in the middle of the map at the same time will take out this third base. We have a bit of a base trade situation. JJAKJI just going to take out that third, hesitates a bit, thinks about going home, but now he's going to turn on that natural.
Oh, Stunner stepping forward, doesn't actually manage to take out any of the tanks there, but does still have his firing away. Landed Vikings and Marines stimming up forward, but GuMiho has too much back at home.
There it is, GG. GuMiho takes game number 2 with his friend Towley to help him out, and JJAKJI just getting behind a little bit, and a nice play there by GuMiho to force that kind of situation with those drops. He was flying them around the entire game, always threatening, always keeping JJAKJI on the back foot, always passive there, JJAKJI, and meanwhile expanding and forcing JJAKJI to kind of make a desperate move, which didn't work out.
Yeah, I was actually, a lot of times I'll see players load up all their units into dropships or medevacs, wrong game, and then they just try to fly in and drop, and it doesn't work, and so they back on out. And they're like, wait a second, what if I tried to do it again? Yeah. And then they try to do it again, it doesn't work. Try to do it again, it doesn't work. I'm like, you know, if for fool me once, shame on me, and then you like keep trying to do it, it's like, well, I guess that's the definition of insanity. But truly insane is trying to do it a bunch of times and then succeeding. That's what we saw here tonight, and GuMiho able to take the victory in Game 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the definition of insanity is expecting nothing to change, but actually what he did was JJAKJI was forced to keep his entire smaller army in the main if he didn't want to die, and that just let GuMiho just get so far ahead. So small moves like that are what win GuMiho games compared to some other players, and that means we will have our first game 3, I should say, of the night between JJAKJI and GuMiho here. And
JJAKJI, yeah, looking remarkably on form. We'll see if he can do it. Pick up his first win, the SSL Challenge.
Here we go. Fly Better Fly. Thanks to Janair for making all this possible.
In the red.
Sorry,
I just like totally stole that from you. Yeah, we should like work out a GSL format here. In the blue. This is GuMiho. And yeah, winning game number 2, tying it up and taking us to our first game 3 of the night.
And JJAKJI, he says, okay, well, I lost the game. I've lost my confidence, and I'm going to go for this. Now, we've seen this before. Just putting down 1 barracks, I think it was, and I think it was by JJAKJI.
Yep.
So he's going to go for 2 barracks this time. Should be Reapers.
Yep. On the way, he's getting his refinery back at home, and yeah, 2 racks. Proxy. Saw Bunny try this last week against Ryung in SSL Challenge, and it failed. So, you know, now we get a chance to see JJAKJI's version of this. GuMiho, in the meantime, starting up with a barracks, so it's not like he's going for CC first or anything crazy like that, but he will need to either scout this out or figure out what JJAKJI is going for. And no scouting SCV means probably not going to find out for a while.
Has his first Reaper coming out, will get that factory out right away with that gas that he did make first. And we'll see what JJAKJI wants to do exactly here. That supply depot is in perfect location to scout this when it does come. JJAKJI is going to send 1 SCV back. This is what I was curious about. Will he keep those and use them to fight in the first fight with the 2 Reapers? It looks like he's just going to go 1 SCV and 2 Reapers, send the other one back home to do some more mining.
Second Reaper being built, first one on the way, and here it goes, coming up with this SCV. Now this should look a little bit weird, SCV at the same time as Reaper, and certainly as soon as that bunker goes down, this will be the big difference. And that bunker is going to be a really big tell. He's not even going to be able to complete it or save the SCV, but he does cause a lot of lost mining time as the second Reaper comes forward.
Yeah, coming on up here, this is really the crucial time, trying to get that Reaper. He gets it, he keeps both Reapers alive, even snipes an SCV on his way out.
Ooh, Hellion about to be produced though, and I feel like that will, be the big telltale sign. 2 more Reapers on the way though, so JJAKJI is actually committing. I think a good reason behind that, taking out that first early Reaper, going to be a big source of strength here for JJAKJI. He does finish. I thought he was going to have 5 Reapers, but it looks like it's going to be only 4.
Looks like maybe he canceled 1, trying to come out in here with 4. And
oh
wow,
God.
That's a ton of SCV damage.
Yeah, longer cooldown. What? Nope, Reaper's KD8 charge is still super strong. He's actually going to go for the kill and will be able to take out 1 of those Hellions. This is actually really successful.
Even a bit of damage onto that other one, really making the most of what he's got there. And yeah, nice bit of damage. He gets a small economic lead, but will not have any production out of those factories, or rather those barracks, that are flying back home for quite a while.
Yeah, a lot of times you do see Terrans bring them all the way back to their base. I actually think it might be a good idea to try to leave them somewhere a little bit further out on the map just so you can keep pumping units and don't have quite as much of an army production disadvantage. Really cool sneaking this last little Hellion in there, the little Hellion that could.
Wow.
Take out that SCV. The other one brought over, just have to watch his SCV brother die to the Hellion. He's just chilling there. He's like, no, you die. I'll complete the construction. I'll continue your legacy when you're gone.
Just doing his job, you know. He's a passive SCV. He's like, no, I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to build this building.
I feel like people don't really think about, you know, the StarCraft universe, wondrous though it may be, and especially if you've read any of the StarCraft novels, those things are so good. You know, sometimes there's just things that don't make a whole lot of sense, like the SCVs just watching each other die and not having PTSD afterwards. They're only half robots, but they seem all robot because they're basically just emotionless. Also, like, how does STEM work? Why does it make the guns shoot faster, Brendan?
I don't know. That's weird.
Are you injecting into the gun? No. Does the gun already have that capability? No.
If you're not on stim, do you just naturally fire slower?
Do you pull the trigger faster? Do automatic weapons not exist in the future?
Well, it's kind of like burst fire, you know?
Yeah, but, like, I mean...
If you consider the way that the Marine shoots. So maybe they're, like, getting the timing perfectly because of the stim that they're taking.
Is that
Could
like
be it.
in some of those games where you have to, like, play the reload minigame and hit the bar right on the other bar to reload faster? I think, what was that, Gears of War? Where you had
Gears
to do
of War
that?
had that, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's what it does. It just gives them better reflexes. I don't know, man. If any of you have the lore reason why STEM works, tweet it at us. Let us know.
Oh!
Wow.
He's going to cut it off, though.
Yeah, there's no way to go. In math, we would call that a pursuit curve, where you predict where the unit will go and then head them off the pass.
That's cool. I didn't know there was a name for that. Pursuit curve.
There's also it plays in sometimes to like a predator-prey relationship. If the fox is chasing the rabbit and each one has a certain speed, what's the correct path to cut it off?
Yeah, makes sense. Like the name.
In Age of Empires 2, if you researched ballistics, it would give arrows a pursuit curve. They would calculate the movement of a unit and fire the arrow to hit it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was actually really bad, and I think competitively you didn't get that because it made arrows too easy to dodge. But either way, this is StarCraft, not Age of Empires. Nice firing up the clip, a high ground advantage, not what it used to be. Nice focus firing, though, by GuMiho, continuing to deal lots of damage.
He didn't cancel that.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Oh, you could see his reaction, too. He's really unhappy with that.
Yikes. All right, we all get one. Maybe GuMiho will, maybe he won't. Because that is actually a lot of lost money, and especially when you look at the supply, you can see that JJAKJI is actually in a great spot, throwing down now a third base.
Going to be dropping that down. GuMiho remakes here. But definitely the advantage JJAKJI right now. This series not going the way that we had expected. And it looks like he wants to kind of abuse that cliff once again, perhaps. He's going in the same direction over there. And if he can get his tanks sieged down there and get vision of the high ground, he can definitely do a bit of damage.
Who shot first? was it Greedo or Han Solo? Which Marine is which?
Red or blue?
Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. The most intense one-on-one combat. How does that work, Brendan? How does it work? Why does the Red Marine shoot first? Somebody explain that to me. You can't explain that. Red Marine goes in.
I don't have an answer for you.
Blue Marine goes down. You can't explain. I don't know, man. Somehow there's like a StarCraft math reason behind that. And no, that doesn't mean that I don't play StarCraft. It's actually just confusing. All right, how many Marines can a Cyclone kill? We're not going to find out just yet because we're watching a big drop in the main. JJAKJI going for it, but lots of defense from GuMiho.
Yeah, those auto turrets are going to buy him a lot of time here. He's trying to take out that Raven, but it's not going to happen. Ends up losing a bit more than the damage he did. I think he delayed the building of the CC once again, which is kind of nice. But that's about it.
Well, I think more than worth there for JJAKJI. Even if he's losing units on the other side of the map, he is coming up with a third base. But oh, look at this GuMiho. I saw him start a fourth base, but instead he's just throwing up a billion barracks, looking to hit a super cool timing with a bunch of Marines.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. It's definitely going to help him out here in the defense because JJAKJI doesn't seem to want to let go of this cliff or of his drops into the main. Although he's mixing it up a little bit now, sending some Marines over to the left side.
Also sensor tower coming up here, this time for GuMiho. So he will be able to see if any drops are coming in, scan just to see what's coming his way in case there's anything weird. Raven coming across the map for a little bit of harass. And it looks like the aggression from JJAKJI is going to continue on the upper side of the map. JJAKJI is actually going for a bunch of upgrades and that armory coming in, so he's playing the long game. Whereas GuMiho, as soon as all these barracks complete, 4 reactors. GuMiho is going to explode in supply and try to just run his way across the map.
Fortunately, I'm not sure how well that's going to work out here, especially if JJAKJI does have a nice defensive position.
He's down like 20 supply as well, so...
Yeah.
Whoa. Scan does not... Oh, yeah, it does. Actually, just the edge of the scan catching a bunch of those barracks. And, well, we're going to find out if JJAKJI can hold against a bunch of Marines coming his way. I don't know if bunch is the correct term for lots of Marines. Is it a murder of Marines? Is it a gaggle of Marines?
A bunch is fine.
I feel like bunches describe bananas, though.
Yeah, but they could also describe Marines.
Are Marines bananas, Brendan?
Yeah.
Somewhere
when they take stim, at least.
Somewhere
they go bananas.
Carbot's like making a mod that makes Marines bananas. I don't know. I mean, they're already pretty much BANANAS if you consider all the upgrades you can get for them. So many being produced right now from GuMiho and JJAKJI pulling back G.
Ooh. Little fight here in the middle of the map. GuMiho will win that, but as you can see, the exponential growth from that third base is really helping out JJAKJI. He's now 30 supply ahead, and finally GuMiho is able to take his third.
JJAKJI might actually start falling a little bit behind in supply just because there's going to be so many Marines coming out at a time. I think he could go up to, I think, 10 Marines at a time if he really produced off of everything. And with all those mules being dropped, he is just going to be, I don't know, there's an inappropriate analogy for that. But let's just say he's going to be making a bunch of stuff. So we'll see if he, see if that can get him back into the game. Because right now he is 22 supply behind, and that's just in the army.
Yeah, you can see he was moving out for a little bit of a drop, but once he sees that gigantic army, he's like, okay, I need to defend this, and thankfully for him, Abyssal Reef is not too hard to defend. There's generally 2 areas. One is at your third base, and another one is up at your natural here, and there's rocks, there's lots of cliffs, and so it's not going to be the easiest job in the world for JJAKJI to actually break this tank line.
Yeah, he does have a decent tank spread there, but just a million Marines on both sides. This is going to be what's really cool. And also, the decision for both players, do I pick up and try to drop, or do I just keep my big Terran ball in one place and try to crush through? Decent amount left back at home there, back at home there for JJAKJI, so he's not going to be fighting with his entire force, whereas GuMiho will probably be. He also has a shorter reinforcement distance, so JJAKJI wisely kind of pulling back. However, this is going to even up the supply, and I mean, you can only go up to 200, so maybe that's going to put GuMiho back in a great spot.
Yeah, I liked what JJAKJI was doing there, trying to deny the fourth base and just do a bit of, you know, zoning while he takes his own fourth command center. Hasn't landed it just yet. Finally, all those units that were back at home are joining on up, and it looks like he might want to go for this naturally, setting up those tanks. This is the one spot on the attack that I really do like. You can shell the mineral line and, excuse me, whatever buildings are there on the left side. And the natural, here comes the drop.
Boosting in, dropping all over those tanks. Doesn't commit everything, but a nice unsiege from GuMiho will save his tanks.
Oh, and look at this, a gigantic stim across the map. This is so many Marines.
It's the million-man marathon, and there they go, stimming all the way into JJAKJI's base. No tanks sieged up to stop them, and this is going to devastate JJAKJI's infrastructure.
This is a genius play by GuMiho. He has a perfect defensive setup back at home. Albeit he was taking a little bit of damage, but he's going to do so much more on the opposite side. And you were talking about how BANANAS these Marines are. They have so many upgrades, they do damage so fast, and they are doing critical amounts of damage to JJAKJI's base right now.
Super cool play there. Does need to re-stim, and he should actually be able to kill off everything from JJAKJI. He didn't send enough back. It's a massacre in JJAKJI's base, but it's GuMiho that just barely gets cleaned up.
Just barely. It looked like JJAKJI, he's got some sick number counting skills. Saw exactly how many Marines there were, brought like 5 to 10 extra exactly. Went and cleaned it up. But now he really needs to do some damage on the opposite side. He lost 2 orbitals, lost a bit of production, lots of SCVs, but does have the bigger army. The question is, and this has been the question for the majority of this game, can he actually break this tank line and get into GuMiho's base?
So GuMiho did just throw away a bunch of units. Now, most of JJAKJI's supply there was in tanks that weren't really moving, so that's why GuMiho had that big advantage. Did kill off not one, but I think, was it 2 command centers? 2 orbitals? Yeah, main and natural. Although, did he float the main to the 4th base, or to the 3rd base? I don't know.
I think that was his 4th command center that he made.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, it is indeed good call on that, Brendan. So either way, damage done there by JJAKJI, and now it's by GuMiho, and now it's him that has the higher supply, more army out there, and just macroing like a god. JJAKJI now forced to hang out in the middle of the map. +3 is done first for JJAKJI, but it will be completed here in just a few seconds for GuMiho. This would be a big timing. If he can hit before that +3 finishes, it doesn't look like he will, and it will even up these upgrades in GuMiho's favor.
You can see JJAKJI is desperately trying to get on in here, but a really nice tank line so far for GuMiho. He's using those scans with the 3 orbitals that he's got of his own, and oh boy, you were talking about air advantage. Well, GuMiho is going to wipe out whatever JJAKJI had outside of that 1 weak Viking.
Did you ever play that classic Blizzard game, The Lost Vikings?
No, actually I didn't.
That's what those were right there. One last shot, down it goes. Not going to be able to play those guys anymore. Okay, well, wow. It's Viking extinction, man. We've come out with like machine guns. Suddenly Vikings are just not able to maraud our shorelines anymore. Have to go back to their Nordic homes.
Going to be taken out. Well, no more Vikings that I can see, although JJAKJI is producing some. Seems like he really does favor that air control.
And GuMiho, all he needs are Marines. He's going to get a new SSL icon, but here we go. Big Marine lines trying to get better concaves there. It looks like the tank line behind is just too much. Although look at GuMiho. He's going to be coming in for a flank, in from behind. These tanks can't see him because they're on the high ground. High ground's a pretty big advantage there. Whoa, what are you doing, Marines? Bad rally point there from GuMiho, sacrificing a lot.
Yeah, this, you know, I saw this position for JJAKJI, and I was saying to myself, this doesn't look too good. You can be surrounded, can get on in, but then GuMiho kind of ran his Marines in a little bit, took way too many tank shots. Now JJAKJI is going to be able to come out in here and reinforce. And GuMiho going to lose one of his Vikings too. More lost Vikings coming down here.
Indeed there are, and this time it's JJAKJI with a big military advantage, stepping forward to take out GuMiho's tanks. He does have another round of Marines coming in from behind, but there just won't be enough. Okay, wow. How many Marines do you have, GuMiho? He's producing 9 at a time, and he'll need as many as he can get to defend.
Yeah, it's always funny what happens when a bunch of Marines show up out of nowhere. You're like, oh, those weren't on the screen before.
So not invited to the party.
They did eventually get there. And we're kind of in a wonky game now where GuMiho can't really mine here, and JJAKJI lost a lot, but now he's only 1 orbital behind, but that 1 extra orbital for GuMiho is now flying. So, pretty even. JJAKJI's still ahead, gonna take a fight though.
Wow, another big stim in there, but with tanks to support, GuMiho will take a little bit of an L there. Have to back out. This actually reminds me a little bit of Protoss games where it's all about whose warping cycle comes up when. Because it's all about when your macro cycle of Marines completed. GuMiho's came out at the perfect time to defend there. JJAKJI hit one right when GuMiho was stimming forward with his big Marine count, and now this game goes down, and not enough to save GuMiho's tank.
Look at the gas bank here for GuMiho. He just can't spend it. He needs more minerals.
He's building nothing but Marines. So
yeah.
That definitely does make sense. Trying to get those tanks into a good position, and it looks like GuMiho continues to advance, shaving off just a little bit by little.
Not the cleanest TVT I've ever seen. Both of these guys have been running into tanks all night, but here we go. JJAKJI thinks he can take it. Gonna take out the 2 tanks there on the low ground.
Meanwhile, GuMiho stimming in from the other side, forced to pick up and back up and lift his 4th base.
I think that's going to do it here. He's going to take out that orbital. JJAKJI takes the series, his first one of SSL Challenge, and I believe that also denies GuMiho a chance to make it into the 2nd stage.
He's bringing you down with him. GuMiho winning in GSL earlier today, but just can't take out JJAKJI. Really incredible to watch that series. I was watching the new Revolution Gaming manager, come up with a big smile on his face, giving JJAKJI a big thumbs up. Also, the ex-TCM manager.
Yeah,
But,
they both look really happy right now. And
yeah.
that's the feeling when nothing's going right, and then finally something goes right. It's like, finally, I won a series.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably, I think almost definitely, he's just out of this. He's going to have to requalify.
Almost definitely.
Almost definitely, maybe, perhaps. But I think he's done. But he takes the win, and that's a big pride advantage. It's going to make you feel good regardless. It's like, okay, I took out GuMiho. GuMiho's a fantastic player. He just 4-0'd his GSL group. I'm still a good player. This gives me a lot of confidence. And maybe next time he comes in with a little bit more flair and fire to take some more games.
Yeah, and there is money on the line for every game, every day. So even if you're not going to advance to the finals of the world, you're still taking home extra money for picking up the win in this series. It was a close series, a closer series than I think we expected.
Yeah.
But still just really good games. And if you guys thought that TVT was sick, oh boy.
Yeah, well, if you like TVT or Terran in general, today is the day for you because we got 6 of them and 2 TVTs. We just had 1. But our next one is going to be TY versus Byeon.
No, it's not Byeon.
Not Byeon.
Ryung.
Sorry.
The other
names
kind
are,
of similar
The names
name.
are, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of close.
So that'll be coming up next, guys. Do not go anywhere. Tell your friends. We'll be right back.